Welcome back to the final match of the WRL Season 1 playoffs. We are still neon-colored and gritty, and we are here with the grand finals between RedBlue and Lunaéna. And we kind of don't get around talking about one team that should be the favorites here, because they have not dropped a single map in the WRL so far. What makes RedBlue so special?
I mean, like I said already in the intro or the outro of the previous match, consistency and pace combined is a lethal combination, and that's what gives RedBlue their success. And that's what we're looking forward to in this matchup as well. It's basically going to be if can Switch keep that pace going for the entire match, and can Celiaste also get in the mix? Both teams actually have sort of, you could say, a weaker link. Tunix and Switch are the main pace setters, and Alush and Celiaste are the ones that are the supportive role. They're there if need be, but usually it's the one is faster than the other in most cases. But it can go either way. That's the beauty of it. And I'm looking to see. Technically, RedBlue are looking for revenge because the show match went Lunaéna's way last time. So, anything's possible. I don't know how serious they took that match, of course, but this time, after 2 months of Women's Racing League, we have now the grand final of it as well. Like, the journey is coming to a close, and it's now only 2 teams to decide the fate of the first, beta first season of the Women's Racing League.
We're looking at that final with the greatest interest, of course. You mentioned it. There has been a show match in the middle of the season between RedBlue and Lunaéna, and Lunaéna took that one, actually. Lunaéna did not quite finish the group in first place. They had to drop the series against Sofieva. Now, of course, Sofieva didn't participate in the playoffs, which you can say is making Lunaéna's job a little bit easier, but of course, the possibility that they would have met them again in the finals and would have had to beat them is just as high. And the stakes are also as high as RedBlue, who are absolutely proving their worth so far, and is absolutely no easier of an opponent than Sofieva would be. And Lunaéna so far also almost flawless in the playoffs so far. We have not seen the maximum of those two teams yet, though. I don't believe they have already blasted everything out there they can manage to do.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just looking to see who's gonna be the show up here. This is one of those matches where I think for the first time it is. Well, of course, RedBlue haven't lost a single map throughout the entire season, but this is now the matchup that will really put them to the test, and we'll see how that goes. I'm just very excited for it. All I ask for is 7 overtimes, 7 map affair, and may the best team win in the end. That's all we want here. That's what we have been culminating towards the entire season. We've had ups and downs for some teams, but in the end, it's where we end off is what it matters. And so RedBlue and Lunaéna are the teams to give us that. We'll see in a very short while, actually, in 5 minutes, we will start the action, actually.
And hopefully no throwouts. We had that in the esports scene maybe 1 or 2 times, but has not happened here so far. We, of course, had in the show matches at the beginning of the season 13 draws in a row in a single match, and we're looking if that might happen tonight again. Of course, Tunix and Switch will fight for the win continuously, and also with their utmost respect for each other, while Celiaste and Aluji are looking to pick up the scraps whenever the leading pair is dropping the ball, and maybe, just maybe, they can unleash their inner lion and steal another few wins of course, of their respective teammates and, of course, the opposing number 1 or number 2. We're gonna see about that.
I mean, yeah, it's like they have everybody, all of the players have the speed, of course. So that is the best part about it. It's just now who's able to actually put it on the server. We saw, of course, Alush and Tunix had a few crashes then and there, even in their 4-0 match as well. Switch and Celiasta had some struggles then and there against Cows Stone that breaks, as long as it's basically whoever gets that mental fortitude going, sometimes you just need a good start and that momentum will carry you to the moon. And I'm sure all of the four ladies on the server are looking to have that a shining star upon them instead of their opposing team. But you never know how the dice are gonna roll. It's like the famous saying from Forrest Gump: "Life is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're gonna get."
And as Cave Johnson said, when life gives you lemonade, throw them back at life. Tell it, I don't want your lemons. Did I say lemonade?
You did say lemonade, so you literally just now gave everybody burnt eyes, if anything. So instead of a concussion with lemons, you gave them permanent blindness.
No, I'm done with myself. I can't even get that fucking quote right. I'm out. Goodbye.
Unlucky indeed. I mean, it's the thought that counts. It's the thought that counts. But for now, at least, you have, we'll have Mr. Streamer. We will have the chair now take over for Neon, and that will be more than fine. I'm sure. I'm sure chair can do the job well enough. But either way, we'll just
Chair's
have
at
to
least
wait and
not getting
see.
quotes wrong.
Yeah. But well, you mean sometimes saying less is more, and chair definitely fits the bill in less is more. But of course, we still have to wait for Lunaéna to join the server. They do enjoy joining the server as late as possible. I hope they have, and so because technically we called the players up to join like 15 minutes earlier, but the pick and ban starts at 0-0, so it doesn't really matter. It's just, convenient is already to be on the server, make sure everything's working. So no last minute stuff, but as long as you're there on time for the pick and bans.
Yep. You know the deal. Of course, we have a few maps ahead of us as well. At least 4, at best 7. And we have talked about Cat's Eye in the previous match. Cows don't have breaks. We're about this close to stealing away that map from Lunaéna. And therefore, it's of course very lucrative for RedBlue to pick that map and maybe, just maybe, have Lunaéna struggle on that map once more, therefore get the first map win. Do you think that's a possibility?
I don't know. It's so hard to say because we know how fast Switch is. We know how fast everybody is. So, it can be a 4-0, very close match. It can be 4-3. It can be literally anything in the scorelines. I don't know what to expect. I expect a good match, but I expect also, the best performances we've seen throughout the season. That's what I hope for.
And I hope we're getting a lot of that, as RedBlue and Lunaéna are looking to claim the first ever trophy in the WRL. We're going in-game, as we're currently waiting for the pick and ban phase. Here at 9 p.m. Central European Summertime. The last match of the season, of the playoffs, is just around the corner. The first ban is gonna be at the hands of Lunaéna. Vaelyn is out of the
Oh,
equation.
thank God
Said
that map is
Kevin
gone.
Moises once more.
Oh,
And
I'm sorry,
Winter Delight.
Kevin. Go back to the drawing board with that one. Unlucky. But Winter Delight is gone, and we start off with Red Menace. Of course, a quick reminder to those: RedBlue is the higher seed, of course. They came into the tournament as seed number 1, and that is, of course, a given that they will keep that as well throughout. And they haven't really literally lost anything this season, so makes sense that they will be seed 1. But Peacekeeper Cat's Eye is in the mix. See, RedBlue, they took some notes. They were like, yep, Switch and Celia step bad on Cat's Eye, pick the map. And there you go. I mean, if I was a coach for them, excellent work. So, I mean, perfect, keeping an eye on the match. But Fuchsia is there. That was the map where we saw the first mistakes from Switch as well, but they seem confident in picking it again. But I'm interested to see where they go now. We have some interesting maps still left. Bio comes in, and now we have Tierras, Alstro. Cam 1 is bad, and we end off on Alstro, so no Tierras. And I already see there's plenty of French in the in-game chat, so I'm gonna be absolutely yek. So I hope they at least ask for a pause in English. I don't know what the French word for pause is, so hopefully they don't forget about it. But I'm looking forward to this. This is gonna be exciting. And I don't know what to expect, honestly. I'm just hope a good match.
Yeah, we're on to the final match of the season. The first map. What was it again? Red Menace, right?
It was Red Menace,
I
my
can't
map,
possibly
to
forget
start
about Red
us
Menace
off
when it's
as
your
well.
turn.
I mean, I'm looking forward to it as well. I mean, it's gonna be good, And this is, of course, the grand final. And we start off with my map. So, my map gets still into the end. I have final words in everything. So, I mean, that's how it goes. But I'm happy, Red Menace, I feel like, is a crowd favorite. But this is a Switch map, to be honest. Switch holds the world record, if I am correct. So, interesting pick by RedBlue. So, looking forward to how they will actually do here. But, I mean, everybody in the chat, everybody on the server is ready. So without further ado, the Women's Racing League season #1 grand final between RedBlue and Lunaéna is here. Illusion Tunics versus Switch and Celiaste as we start off on Red Menace. And we'll see how it goes. I mean, and we see a first little moment for Celiaste. So we see a bit of a familiar side as Switch is now the one that has to get in front.
And unfortunately, Celias has also clipped on the jump. She still made it, but she's out of the equation for the moment as Tunix is hitting the wall on the, just before the engine off part. Switch is going into the lead, but Alush is not quite letting her go. Red-Blue goes in a prime position for at least a draw. They don't need to over-push it, but Alush is on pace with Switch. Can she maybe steal that one away? It doesn't quite play out the way it would have needed for her. 2/100ths of a second between the two leading pair. That was a great one to start off.
That is exactly what we expected. They are all fast on the server. And that is a 44.5 as well. Some people dream of those times and they're doing them casually in the rounds as well. And this is exactly what we are looking for. Good stuff here as well. And this, if you are arriving right at the moment, you have the perfect timing, of course. The Women's Racing League Grand Final is underway. And I mean, we have the two best teams basically as well. Of course, you could argue Sofieva would have been awesome to have here as well. You never know what could have happened. But now, I mean, Switch and Tunics are up front once again. Alush and Celiaste. Oh, Celiaste does have to go for a respawn. So Switch has to hold up in front again. And unless she lets go of that position, which she doesn't seem to be, good end. And another 44.5. Here we go. This is exactly another draw. We're gonna go for a long night here, I think, Neon. A long night is ahead of us still.
They're absolutely dead even right now. The two teams, Celiaste with a little bit of difficulties as she is trying to hang on to the three superstars, her fellow countrywomen, and it looks like She's messing up the line a little bit as she's sliding out there, but she's not out of the equation yet. A little bit of a higher distance as we also get a raid from Magi right now. Thank you very much for that, and welcome to all the raiders. You're in at the perfect time. The grand final of the WRL just started, and Deluge is trying to chase down Switch and possibly make it an ace. Unfortunately though, she clips on the last turn. Can Switch maybe steal that one away and force another draw?
Ooh,
It
right
just about pays off. And once again, just below 2/100ths of a second. Incredible so far this match.
Oh, we are getting treated. Everybody welcome. My welcomes to all of you as well. I'm sure a lot of you probably were watching some TMGL, so we're gonna get a bit of a different taste of match, but I mean, the perfect time, as Neon said. We have a grand final here, and what a way to start off. We have a 3-3, that's the draw, and we see Celiasta does go for an inside line and has a bit of a touch there. So Switch is on the block again, going in here, but oh, what a nice line. Gets an upper gear there as well, but it's neck and neck with Tunics. But that inside line is where the difference is made. A lot more speed, and if she can hold it there, that's gonna be the round. Unless, no, I don't think there will be a mistake. It will be a 44.4 as well. Why not, you know? But it is another draw, and we go again. That's the fairy tale of this match so far.
4 draws in a row, and I reckon there might be many more coming. As we see the start of round 5, but as I say this, Luge with a mistake in the early parts of that race just about clips the barrier, and Turnix now needs to beat Switch on this specific round. Celiasta also still in the mix, although she has to drop down a little bit further for the moment. Switch is now once again chasing Turnix, once again has more exit speed, comes into the engine off part with a little bit of an advantage. Can she keep it clean? It's not quite perfect line, but she is quick enough, and Turnix has to make do with another second place, and Celiasta getting that third place just about ahead of Luge makes it the first victory for Lunaéna.
Yeah, Celiasta was able to just get a better line in the end and overtake Luge, but they are really not letting it go. Like, each round is close. Yes, there might be a 1v1 at the front and at the back, but it's basically really hard to take them apart here, as Celiasta maybe doesn't feel so comfortable on this map. She does have a few moments where she does fall a fair bit behind. But if Switch is able to hold on now, that's going to be perfect for Lunaéna, because they need draws. But you can see Tunics is getting up front again, but that wider line will compromise her. Her entry might not be as good as you want it to be. Switch, of course, putting the pedal to the metal to the line, and there it is. Gets there, 44.5. It's just a 44.5. It's Switch is basically doing, do I draw 44.5 or draw 25 cards? She's just doing 44.5s. That's everything she's doing at the moment. So she's really putting RedBlue on the chopping block, and still track point as well if they get an ace.
Well, so far nothing points towards an ace for either of those teams. We have such close rounds. Switch once more in the lead, and so far she has been unbeatable in the second part of the map, but Turnix is giving her a good run for her money so far. As we see Luge in third place, he's holding on to that quite beautifully, and once again Switch with a perfect inside line. Can she keep it clean through that last sector? Super close to the wall. We need measurements like in the Monaco Grand Prix, but Switch with a 44.3 this time around is forcing another draw, and RedBlue, they really desperately need a victory as soon as possible.
Yeah, they have to break Switch somehow. Like, Tunics is constantly close, but her end is absolutely clean. And Tunics is not able to really get close enough to edge it out. She's been able to get close every time, but it's just been a little bit too little, you know. They need a bit more pace, and we see that Celiasta is getting more and more into the mix. So at one point, they're just gonna run out of points. They don't have much to work with. In 2 rounds with 2 draws, that will be a Lunaéna track point. And this was a red-blue pick as well. Keep that in mind. So, of course, we have here that the higher seed is blue-sided. So, first track is red-blue picker. Tunix is again going for the inside, but it's not going to be enough. Another draw, another 44.3. Like, I mean, can somebody check her PC, man? It's just 44.3. Does she have, like, autoplay on or something? She's just not allowing any room whatsoever for red-blue.
Yeah, apparently she's using a Honda engine fueled with Red Bull, but maybe that's something to look into later on. Once again, beautiful start from Celeste, but has to compromise on her lines a little bit as Turnix is once again taking over the lead in these first parts, but Switch is not letting her go. This is a running theme on Red Menace so far. Turnix absolutely to the max. Outside line. If she goes any further, she's gonna touch the wall. But Switch, once again, with a switcheroo, is going ahead of Turnix. But can she also bring it home now? Turnix with a little tighter inside line, but Switch keeps it super clean. 44.4 once more. It's a draw. And the first map, Red Menace, goes to Lunaéna.
Oh, that is a way to start off the first track. 9-10, literally nothing to really separate the two. Only one round was the difference between victory, and this is exactly what I was mentioning as well. It could be possible that it can go 4-0, but we will have some of the most closest rounds possible, and we are going into a Peacekeeper map, which is a more technical map. And a lot more complicated than Red Menace. There is a lot of variety difficulty in this map pool as well. You have some of their easier maps, some more difficult, and I would classify Peacekeeper as definitely among the more difficult ones. Very technical map, and a lot can go wrong, but it seems that Celeste has made a bit of an early thing as she has to restart her game, so we will be going into a pause here since her controller is not working. So have to give it a bit of a wait. So but I mean, we can really enjoy that. I mean, come on, first track, absolutely insane.
Yeah, definitely. And Lunaéna could have used the momentum. Would have been nice to just keep going, just to keep doing your thing. But Celeste unfortunately hit with some hardware issues. We had that issue yesterday already, although for different teams. We're hoping that Celeste gets control over her controller back as soon as possible, and that it's not going to be too long of a wait, because so far this match is absolutely delivering, and I hope chat is enjoying it as well. And let us know what you're thinking. Who is taking this one home? Is Lunaéna gonna take the advantage and carry it out, or is RedBlue going to come back at them?
We'll have to wait and see. But for now, it seems Celeste is good again, so we will continue the match here. Of course, it's good that it happens like right at the start of the match. Imagine it happens in between, and sometimes it can really throw you off, of course. So, but you know, you take what you can, but hopefully it won't happen again for her. And we're on Peacekeepers, so... And a lot of people, I'm pretty sure, haven't really followed Women's Racing League as well. It has been happening for the last 2 months, actually. We started exactly... I do believe the first match was exactly 2 months ago, as we see Tunix and Switch both clipping on the inside. So it's now the opposite from the previous map where we have Illusion, Celeste. Oh, and Switch goes a bit too much on the checkpoint there, so she's completely out of it. So RedBlue looking to get some points on the boards, and if Tunix can overtake Celeste, we could be seeing an ace here as well.
Can Luigi bring it home? This is the most important part. A victory is pretty much granted. Can Celeste hold on to the second place? It looks like she has a little less speed than Tunix, and Luge brings it home. Tunix makes it an ace. Switch, the first mistake we have seen in this round so far, and this one costs properly.
Yeah, it seems that Red Menace was a bit too simple for Switch, but it seems that now, of course, with more complicated maps, you have a lot more possibilities for mistakes as well, and this map is very unforgiving. One little thing, as we see Switch and Tunix again, both making an early mistake, and Switch making a mistake and a half. allowing now Tunix to go in front, and it's again Celiaste to deny some points, and RedBlue at the moment looking to actually take the track pick from Lunaéna, and I can confirm RedBlue did pick first, and this is Lunaéna's map pick, but they're not going as planned, I think, for now, but you never know, you know, things can turn all the time around, but it's looking very good, and I think if Tunix can really send it in the end, and Celiaste maybe not feeling so comfortable, could be a double ace here, but looking good for Celiaste at the moment. Good drift, good opportunity, get to the finish, and she does it as well. Victory saves the ace, but it is 5-1 now, so she really needs Switch on her side as well.
The incredible thing is, this is an absolute turnaround from Red Menace. So far, Alush has finished twice ahead of Tunix, and Celiaste has finished twice ahead of Switch. So far, the heavy favorites, the team leaders, are looking a little wonky. Unfortunately, it seems like I have cast a cursed Alush a little bit. He has clipped the barrier, but is not out of the equation for now, as she's trying to chase down Celiaste. And at the front of the field, Switch and Tunix are absolutely dead even. Can Tunix maybe... Nah, it looks like Tunix has clipped through the last section and is now out of the equation. Can she maybe pick off the third place of Celiaste, maybe even a second place? Alush is now trying to fight off Celiaste, so Switch isn't just running away with it. It's not going to be an ace. Alush saves the day for RedBlue, but it's a victory and a very important one for Lunaéna.
That is exactly, but there is of course the case that if Lunaéna get a few victories in, then it will be very nice. But of course, if they get like 4 victories in a row, that actually works for Lunaéna. They would be able to take another track point, but 3 points of a gap, that is a fine margin as well. And so far, Switch hasn't felt the most comfortable on this map, and it seems that Tunix and Alush are definitely prepared for this, and they are a lot more in front than in, for example, when we compare to Red Menace. But again, Switch has, if we take the Women's Racing League times, has the fastest time on this map as well. So again, RedBlue are going up against the devil herself, and it is Switch, and you can already see why, because she's in a commanding lead, but with the draw position that it is for RedBlue, unless Celiaste, no, she can't really. It is a draw, but it only benefits RedBlue. If 3 more draws, and they have their first track point.
52.7. Once again, a beautiful round from Switch. It looks like she has finally found her mojo on Peacekeeper, but this is of course still not the position that she would like to be in. Tunix and Alush now absolutely beautiful through that first sector, as Celiaste is bonking on the dirt turn. Unfortunately out of this one for the moment. Alush in third place, but literally on the cusp of stealing away the lead if anything is about to happen. Tunix for now in the lead, but Switch with an aggressive inside line has to compromise a turn exit though, and Alush is taking over second place. But can she stick to it? Switch is switching back, and Tunix also with a slow exit. This is gonna go down to the wire. Tunix still in the lead. Can she keep it clean? And Alush has to compromise the line a little bit. Goes for the slow finish. Switch cannot quite pick off Tunix. And Alush in the end secures a victory for RedBlue. And now Lunaéna desperately need an ace.
Actually, very smart for Alush. She knew that her line was really bad, and she knew that she was not going to overtake Switch. So she went for the safe finish, because if, for example, Switch would have missed it, she would have been actually second position. So, you know, big brain move there, but, you know, victory still for RedBlue, and they only need 1 more point. And Celiaste really needs to get in the mix, but she has made an early mistake as well. So unless a miracle happens for Lunaéna, this is looking to be a RedBlue as well, and I feel like Alush can even save it. I know, have a bit of a drink while she goes towards the finish. Tunix just simply needs to get second position. That's all she has to do. She can have Switch make a world record run for all she cares, but as long as she gets second position, that's perfectly fine for her. And it seems that nothing's gonna change here, and it's gonna be a draw, but that is more than enough for RedBlue with a 10-6 scoreline. They take the track point, and both teams have so far traded their map picks. And of course, the next map is going to be an interesting one, given what we saw in the second semi-final. It's Cat's Eye, which Lunaéna didn't have the most fun at. Let's just put it mildly. They did beat Cows Don't Have Brakes, but it was a bit spinning moment. They're a bit spinning.
Yeah, a bit spinning as well said. In the end, it was down to 2 aces, 2 absolute over-the-top performances, which is not something you can rely on against RedBlue. Consistency is key once more, and Tunix and Lelouch definitely shown a lot of consistent on Peacekeeper. Can they keep it up on Cat's Eye? We're getting into the third map. Pretty, take it away.
Well, that is the case to be made. Of course, RedBlue are an absolute menace on this map. It's very hard to beat them because they are actually consistent at this track. So it is a tough task for Lunaéna, and we see that Celiasta has already fallen a bit behind early on. So it is now switch again on the block to hold out for a draw. But there is plenty of ice still, and we know the dreaded wedge. It can happen to anybody. Nobody's safe from ice. And we'll see how it goes. But currently, at least, Tunix is keeping up with Switch. Lelouch is taking a bit of a, a grand POV of everything happening up in front. And Switch has a bit of a mare on the ice, allows Lelouch to go up in front. Tunix holds out as well. And that is prime ace position, if I've ever seen one. Unless they jump to Narnia or somebody turns around before the finish line. This is an ace, and that is looking a lot better on their map pick compared to the previous one for RedBlue.
48.2. It doesn't get much better than this. Tunix is fired up and ready to win this grand final. As we see another early mistake, this time from Switch. It looks like she's not quite comfortable with this map. Celiasta is trying to set up after the RedBlue goes, but also clips the wall. Is now taken off the board by her own teammate. E3 for Switch, and Tunix and Lelouch only need to keep it clean. Lelouch right now in the lead, but Tunix once again with a clean inside line. Not quite quick enough to take the lead off her teammate. Switch though is quite far off the lead for now. A little more risky inside line. Doesn't quite help. Tunix P2 behind her teammate, but that means we have another ace for RedBlue, and they really come out of the gate swinging.
Yeah, but it was kind of expected as well. Like, it's probably the best team on RedBlue going up against the team that probably doesn't enjoy this map that well. I mean, Switch is good on every surface. I don't know if she is really fond of ice. So far, at least, knowing the map so far, it hasn't been the most enjoyable part for her, but we'll have to wait and see. I mean, it is 6-0, and it's probably the best lead RedBlue have had throughout this entire map, and Celiasta does touch the wall early on as well, so it is up to Switch to hold the front and to keep the damage to a minimum. Of course, it is very useful, actually, to have a tap release on the checkpoint. It does avoid, in most cases, the slide out, as Switch goes for the wallbang ice, which you can do. Most of the time it doesn't happen on intention, but if you are going in that direction, you might as well go for it. And Switch with a clean round, and that is a 47.2. Now that is her PB as well. So she actually drives a PB on the map, which is third best time in the world behind Tunix. So she actually improves her PB in the grand final. Who would have thought about that?
Now that's the way to come back into this match. Of course, they're still down 1-7. If you're Brazilian, you probably know that feeling, but yeah, we know track point for RedBlue is still on. It's a heavy task for Switch and Celiasta to get back into this match, and Tunix and Lelouch once again with a beautiful start. Absolutely flawless so far. Tunix even faster than her teammate through the dirt. And it looks like Lelouch has to compromise her line a little bit through the plastic section. Switch with a chance to catch up once more. Switch needs to get at least one position to prevent the ace, to prevent losing Cat's Eye in this specific round. But it's also a question if she just wants that to happen. She wants to drive here for even longer. Can she maybe pick off a Luge? It doesn't look like she can. Turnix also with a beautiful 47.5. Looks like Lunaéna have poked the bee nest a little too long, and RedBlue are taking Cat's Eye and going ahead 2-1 in maps.
Yeah, that is 2-1. Bit of expected. I'm gonna be honest, when I did see the Cat's Eye pick, I thought, yep, this is gonna be a bit of a moment. It's sort of those maps where, like, you know what? It is what it is. You can take the track point, you know, but we got Fuchsia next, you know. And Fuchsia actually was really good for Switch as well. It was simply that was the first map when they played against Cows Don't Have Breaks that she started to have a few mistakes as well. So I think she's hoping to get a clean run here, because if she does, she's again, as predicted, one of the fastest players on this map. She holds the world record, of course, but Illusion Tunics are not far behind. So it's again basically Switch against RedBlue, and Celiaste is trying to then shadow her, make sure if there is a mistake she can clean up and get some more points for the team.
Of course, Celiaste so far showing a good display, but to keep up with Tunics, Illusion and Switch is still an incredibly difficult task. So for Illusion, also with a stellar performance in these finals, Tunics clean as ever. Switch is so far the quickest, but unfortunately also the least consistent. He has a beautiful line through the first turns of Fuchsia, which is a map she generally likes. And Luge and Tunics are on her tail though, not trying to snatch that first place away. Elias loses a little bit of ground, but is not out of it yet, as she has a little bit of a wanky landing. Not too bad though, as if there is a mistake about to happen, she can still snatch a position, and it doesn't look like anything is going to happen, as Switch picks up another 45.8, and Tunics and Illusion are making it a draw.
Yeah, that is, you might be thinking, yeah, 45.8, that's a very fast time, but, and it is probably close to being one of the top 6 times on the online records as well. But you can see Tunics and Aluge are right on the tail, so that means the pressure is ramped up even more so. You know, you turn the pressure valve to the maximum for Switch. She really cannot afford any mistakes, because, as I said, Tunics and Aluge are really consistent, and they really are just there. As soon as Switch has a lapse of judgment, they're there to punish it. And Celiaste is not far behind, so it can work both ways. But so far, at least, Switch is doing her part. Aluge and Tunics are hot on her tail, but I do not think it's going to be enough. Aluge tries to go for the risk, but it doesn't pay off, and Celiaste is not far enough. It's not close enough to even get Aluge's little wobble there. So it is a draw, and it could be a very familiar side. We're going to go in a few draws, I think. I think that's going to happen for a bit here.
Quite possibly. It's a view that we're used to. Cat's Eye kind of was the outlier in that regard, as we see a beautiful start from Celiaste in this specific round. Has to concede most of the places, though, is once again back in 4th place, as Illusion, Tunics and Switch are once again absolutely clinical through this first part. And so far nobody has bonked in this third section, which is also respectable. I hope I didn't get anything of that wrong, because that would sound like BM. Luge this time hits the third section's outside wall though, and that puts Celiaste in a prime position to take away a victory for Lunaéna. And that's just what happens. Switch with another 45.8. Tunics can't quite keep up with that pace.
Yeah, and I mean, it's just Switch has done 45 3 rounds in a row. I mean, most people would struggle to even time attack that time after a few hours. She's just really getting into it, and that's exactly what Lunaéna need, because if Switch can get first position, that's a victory for them, you know? There's nothing RedBlue can do. If Switch wins every round, that is a GG, basically. We will have to play 6 rounds to get to that. But if Switch is first, that is good enough for them. And if Celeste can grab a few more points then and there, Illusion Tunics maybe have a bit of a wobble there or and a mistake there, that would work benefits for them. You can see Switch is just, again, she's getting into that red menace. She has that blood in her eyes and she can really feel it. And then again, 45-8. What are you gonna do? And Tunix gets a 46-0. Not enough. Come back next round.
It's another draw, but this only benefits Lunaéna. If Celeste can steal another third place, maybe even a second, this might be decided quite early, but so far RedBlue are not looking to let that happen. But can they do something about Switch? Can Switch keep it together? He's absolutely comfortable on Fuchsia so far, and she's not looking to change that anytime soon. As we see, the RedBlue goes chase after her once more. Celeste trying to keep up with the pace as well. It looks like she's doing a pretty good job at that. We're looking at the leading pair. Tunics is not far off Switch, but also not quite close enough. Another 45.8 for Switch. And is there even a way to steal anything off Switch on this map on pure pace?
I mean, at the moment, it's looking to be exact carbon copy of what we saw in Red Menace. It's just, once Switch gets going, it's almost impossible to stop her. I mean, Tunix and Aluge are putting in some fast time that put a lot of players into shame, but they're just not getting close enough. And we can see Switch is just in her element. She's going for every line, every risky element. But sometimes there are some players who dwell in it, you know. Those risky lines are their safe lines. They're comfortable with it. They enjoy driving to the very limits, and that's what makes the difference. And we see Tunix is right there, but that's a 1/10 of a gap. And that's enough, you know. There's nothing Tunix and Aluge can do. Switch is just going to casually drive another 45-7, I think. Yeah, sure, why not? Nothing they can do, but that's exactly what Lunaéna are gonna do. 3 more rounds of draws, and they have another track point.
Switch is absolutely on fire on Fuchsia, untouchable so far. And RedBlue need answers to this as soon as possible if they want to have a talk in who wins this map. Phoenix once again setting off after her fringe rival, as Aluge is also with a beautiful inside line, but clips the barrier in the transition to the tarmac, and Celeste is using that to her advantage, is forcing a third place here. Can she help Lunaéna to another victory? Looks like Tunix is getting ever closer to Switch, but can she make up some ground in the last 2 turns? No, she also clips the inside line, and that might open the door for Celeste to steal away the second place. She does. That is an ace, and therefore Lunaéna take the map quite early.
And yeah, that is an early win. That is 6-10 for Lunaéna, and Switch drove a 45-7 rounds in a row. That is absolutely insane. Like, it's hard enough to get a 45 to begin with. She did it every single round. Not even a smidgen of opportunity for RedBlue. I mean, those are the moments where you're just like, yeah, fair play. I mean, what are we supposed to do? Like, there's nothing they could have done there. I mean, Switch just switched on. I don't know what, maybe B for boost was on for that round, but definitely worked for them. And we're on bioengineered. Some of you might actually know this map if you have played Cup of the Day. This is a track of the day as well. So maybe some familiar stuff. It is a Chloe map. You can praise her for the map as well. She's in chat as well. But some of you might have actually some familiarities with this. So maybe some maps are new, of course, for you. But this one may be a bit more familiar.
Definitely should be if you're playing Cup of the Day on a regular basis. Also a map that I recently got a T on just before the playoffs happened. Quite happy about that. Not so happy is Atonix about that plastic turn. Is it plastic? It's probably not plastic. I'm just getting it wrong. Don't you worry about that. But Switch is once again out in the lead. Can Celeste hold off Tunix? Can she help her teammate to clinch another victory? Doesn't quite seem like she has the pace, and Illusion's also stealing away the first place with a mega clean bug slide. Absolutely clean, and Tonix also snipes Switch.
Oh, that
Switch
was as
is not
clean.
quite comfy on that bug slide, it seems to me.
I mean, there are some tricksters there on that box slide as well. If you know a few tricksters, first of all, you want to land as flat as possible, so you do have to air brake once you exit the bobsleigh. And if you know the brake tap trick as well, you can get some insane acceleration when you come out of that bobsleigh. So, you know, there are a few little things there, you know, and that Tunix did it perfectly as Celeste does hit the wall there. So now it is up to Switch to hold off as well. Maybe get a point here, you know, get the ball rolling, you know. Maybe they didn't get the snowball to start off, but it can still work wonders. But Switch really needs to get the Zend because Tunix has it absolutely clean. So let's see how she does it. And you saw Break Tap has more speed, better line, and there it is. Gretz across the line, 5-1. And it is a good lead for RedBlue. And that break tap makes a significant difference. And Tunix has done it twice now to snipe Switch.
Now that is just a work of beauty, and Switch needs to take a deep breath here. She knows she has the technical prowess to get that bug slide done just as well as Illusion and Tunix usually do. So far, she's struggling to reproduce it, as we see Tunix about 2 seconds down at this specific checkpoint, and I don't know what happened there. And Celeste is also gone off the map, which was not quite visible, or has crashed somewhere. She has at least taken a reset. Illusion, can she clinch another victory? Switch this time comes out clean out of the bug slide. Forces a round win, the first on Bioengineered that she can take away. Lily has the standing respawn as she's getting into the finish. It's a draw, but there's not quite enough time bought for Lunaéna if it keeps going like this.
That is indeed the case. They do need to get some victories going. If you are a mathematician, of course, 4 victories for Lunaéna means we go into a 10-10 scoreline. So the cards are still there, but as soon as we get another draw, it means that Lunaéna needs an ace. And it has looked more of a RedBlue getting an ace than it has been for Lunaéna. But Celeste this round does get it a lot more cleaner than before, and this can be quite treacherous. That bobsleigh entry has killed a lot of people. It's very easy to get a slowdown there, but there are a few tricksters that help you mitigate that, or at least prevent that slowdown from happening. As Illusion Tunix are in the mix, Switch is up front. Can they overtake her again? Not this time. Switch does get it cleanly as well, but Switch hits the finish block and allows Illusion to snipe her on the line, and it is 8-3. Oh, that's a bit of a despair. That's the worst spot to crash, and it is the finish block. That's gonna leave a mark in the morning.
Unlucky one for Switch. Can't quite keep it as clean as she would like, but nothing is lost yet. Of course, they need at least one ace to get back into this. And Switch is doing her part already. Celeste also a lot closer to the competition than on previous round, but Tunix and Illusion are keeping it clean. Beautiful line through the dirt from all 4 of them. Celeste with a little bit of an inside line. Illusion, Tunix completely clean though. And Celeste is sliding out of the final bobsleigh, and it looks like Switch also had an issue of herself, which means we have an ace for RedBlue. RedBlue are taking Bioengineered and are on match point 4 maps, 3 and 2 ahead. If they win the next map, they take the WRL Season 1 trophy. And
Yeah,
Lunaéna are in an interesting position now.
I love how people are saying we go to map 8. People, this is a best of 7. The most amount of maps we're playing is 7.
We still
people
go to map 8.
Yeah, go to map 8. I mean, what is this?
We didn't pick tiaras, right? We just make tiaras a single map show match.
No, no, no. We don't have map 8. It's a best of 7. It's the saying is in the number. Best of 7. People, focus up. Come on. I know it's late in the evening for some people, but you know, best of 7. Keep your focus. We are going into Cam 1 is bad. And for fun facts, guess who has built the map? Neon, can you enlighten us? Who's built Cam 1 is bad?
Well, according
Any
to
answers?
rumors, this map has been built by someone who's endorsing Cam 2. And this person is also, according to those rumors, Switch, who is on team Lunaéna, which means that we probably have a little bit of an advantage for Lunaéna here.
Yes, it is a map built by Switch, so she has a mapper's advantage, but RedBlue have been very lethal on this map. They are very consistent on this. Very rarely they make mistakes, but if you have... The worst opponent probably is the mapper herself, and I mean, Switch is probably the worst opponent to not have a map diff in this case, because she knows all the trips and tricks, and we can already see good lines, perfect execution. She has a 10th up on Tunix and a Luge. Celeste has fallen a bit behind, but Switch clips the corner, goes a bit too ambitious, and it is an ace for the RedBlue lineup, giving a run for their money for Lunaéna. So they start off with an ace, and not the start that Lunaéna were looking for. Switch was there, but that clip did make the difference in the end.
You can't make this stuff up. You just can't. Switch had an absolute stranglehold on this run, but it doesn't look like she could quite bring it home, as we see a Luge also making a mistake. She's out of the equation for now. Hits the barrier, clip the inside, and Celeste is now chasing after Tunix. An ace for RedBlue means the best possible way to counter is an ace for Lunaéna, but Tunix is not looking to let that happen. Switch, this time, absolutely clean out of the dirt section. Can she manage the risky finish? It looks like she can't just do that. 47.6, which is 4
Celeste misses
faster.
the risky!
But Celeste apparently missed the risky, which means Alush has the possibility, and not just a possibility, she's taking the chance. Steals away P3, which makes this round a draw. Costs Lunaéna an important point.
Oh, that's the worst possible outcome there. Those are the moments where you then start thinking, maybe I should have gone for the safe finish. I had the time, you know. But then again, all of these players are very confident on these maps, and most of the time, at 99 out of 100 times, they will get the risky fin. But in this case, Celeste underestimated her speed, and she missed the finish, allowing a Luge to come back there. So again, a bit of a moment there. Coulda, woulda, but in this case it didn't for her. So now she's looking to get a bit of redemption. She is falling a bit behind, but anything can happen in the end, and Switch and Tunix are really neck and neck up front as well. I mean, looking good for Switch. She has the perfect line for the speed, and she gets it across the line as well. A Luge also, but draws. They only give us ever so closer for RedBlue's match point as well.
5-2. Comfortable lead for the moment. But if there was an ace to happen for Lunaéna, we would have a tied playing field once more. Switch is taking over the lead again. She's in a pressure situation. She needs to deliver. If she chokes on a run, she's possibly giving RedBlue a chance to take a victory and to run away with the scoreline. Tunix and Alush absolutely clean. They're not trying to give Celeste a chance, but Celeste has stepped up from the previous rounds quite impressively and is now looking to steal away P2 from Tunix even. Switch has clipped the outside barrier though, and this is a prime chance for Tunix and Alush to take another ace, and they do just that. Celeste can't quite catch up to them on the final, and Switch, that has to hurt. That really has to hurt. She has kept it clean for so long, but she clips once again on the outside barrier.
Yeah, that could be the nail in the coffin for Lunaéna. They've been ever so close, but those two little mishaps have cost them almost literally cost them 6 points. So now they really have to get the aces going, and Celiaste has fallen a second behind already. So Switch is again in damage mitigation mode. She has to get this draw. She cannot allow Tunix to get first position, or RedBlue will be taking the crown here. And Tunix is really pushing it. She's literally on the spoiler of Switch. It's gonna come down to the end. Switch has a better line, but I think this will be their Switch. Holds on till the end, gives us one more round, but it does mean that in order for us to get map number 7, Lunaéna need to ace twice in a row. And now it is the consistency of Tunix and Alush that is going to come into play, I feel like. So we'll have to see if this is the round that Lunaéna can take.
Good start so far from Switch. Alush and Turnix are not letting her go though, and Celiaste is trying her absolute best to keep up. It's a tough ask to her to keep up with Turnix and Alush, but so far she's doing a great job in this match, and the pace is clearly there. But Alush and Turnix are not letting Switch get away with this. They only need a single point. Lunaéna needs to ace this. Switch is doing her part. She's approaching the risky finish. Can everyone do it? Switch is taking the win, but Alush and Turnix are taking P2 and 3. They take the draw, they take the map, and they win the first ever grand final. And RedBlue are your WRL champions.
That is an excellent job, and as said in the beginning, an unstoppable force meets an immovable object, and this time the immovable object, of course, being Team Red Bull. The consistency is there, the GGs, of course, called for everybody. What a way to end the El Gran Finale. I mean, it was a good show. We got a good end to the Women's Racing League as well. Happy to see that, and hopefully, I mean, it's the best outcome we could have had. Like, that is, of course, the best we could have asked for, of course. Hopefully my fellow caster, of course, can agree with that. I mean, what a match to end on. Still a banger match, even if the score was 4-2 and we didn't get map number 7.
Yeah, press F in chat for map number 7. I think I just ruined my voice with this last bit, but you know, this was an absolute dream of a grand final, something that you couldn't ask about in a dream, and I think RedBlue also did their part. They showed that consistency and always high pressure is key. Switch, I feel a little heartbroken for her because she has been dominating maps on end, and she has shown that she is not just capable of winning maps, she's not just capable of getting that first seed in the group stage, although she did get the second seed. I mean, the first seed in the playoffs, despite P2 in the group. She's also shown she can contend for world records, and she's definitely capable of winning the WRL himself. Celiaste, also with a great display of talent, could not quite keep up with the pace of the other three in these grand finals, but that is a high ask. I personally couldn't even hold up with Celiaste, so maybe I should go back to the drawing board before I hand out tips on what to improve. But we have definitely seen a great performance from Lunaéna and a well-deserving title-winning performance from RedBlue, your first ever WRL champions.
Yeah, I mean, a perfect example. Yeah, it is, of course, important part is that Switch had some of the most dominating performances on Red Menace and Fuchsia. I mean, Fuchsia was just Switch put on a pedestal, and praise her all you can. Probably the best Fuchsia we've seen across the entire season, and it gave them the win as well. But you gotta have all the maps in your bank locker and in your locker, and in this case is where the RedBlue do come in. They win the preliminary, the sort of the beta or the first season, whichever way you want to call it, of Women's Racing League. I mean, they've been dominant throughout the entire season. They only dropped 2 maps and it was in the grand final to Lunaéna. So a very dominant performance, and I think more than deserved. And I hope they got a challenge out of it. I think that's what they were looking for. You know, RedBlue have not really been contested throughout the entire season, and I hope they're really satisfied with their performance in the grand final. Of course, winning is a good performance, but I hope they got the thrill and fun of it as well.
Absolutely. To quote the chat, and not just any chatter, they would have won if they chose Valenxdor. I'm gonna keep you guessing who said that because it's
Yep.
totally not obvious.
Yeah, that's I already know exactly who that is. Unlucky. I mean, I'm just saying there's a reason why people don't pick that map. But moving on, of course. But I mean, it's hard to say, of course. Ifs and buts. I think there were a lot of moments where I feel like Lunaéna could have taken a map which they didn't. So it could have gone to map 7. But you know, that's how the cookie crumbles. And I think with that in mind, we can talk all we want, but I feel like it's more than a good point to close us out as well, because we might ramble on for an entire eternity. But everybody, thank you for joining us as well. Thank you for the raids, and thank you for people enjoying. This is not going to be the final season of Women's Racing League. There's more to come as well. And get the word out there and get other people into this as well. And the more participants we have, the more fun it's going to be as well. But I'm sure there's something cooking in the background already. But until then, well, you can close us out, Neon. Give us your final remarks.
Well then, if you enjoyed today's WRL semifinals and final of the playoffs, then feel free to leave a follow on the Women Track Mania channel on Twitch. Also feel free to look up our other socials, which are of course Twitter, because Twitter is apparently the most important platform. Maybe we are spreading out to others, but more infos about that will definitely drop on our Discord, so feel free to join that as well. If you're looking to compete, Season 2 is going to start at some point in the future. We don't have a set date yet, but that is also going to be announced on the Twitter and the Discord, so feel free to look us up there and join the Discord. And if you're looking to be part of the circus, but you're unfortunately not female, I know it can hurt you deeply, but you can still participate in the competition as a coach, a team leader, or a mapper. We're always looking for talented people to build great maps, as we've seen a great set for Season 1, except Valenxdor. Please, Kevin, build a better map. And we're hoping to get an even better example for it all for a WRL Season 2, whenever it may start. And that's basically it for me. So I hope to see you again at some point in the future. Until then, take care and have a nice evening.
No, have fun, everybody. Bye bye. And I'm sure there will be a raid as well. Bye bye.